We are completely desensitized to our own nightmares. From climate collapse to total government surveillance, humanity is exhausted by its own problems. So what happens when an outside force suddenly shows up and offers us a perfect, effortless escape? Welcome back. This is From Page to Premiere, the channel where we bridge the gap between the greatest stories on the page and their ultimate execution on the screen. I'm your host, Professor Danny Hopp, and today's lesson is all about reading the fine print. Speaking of fine print, please read my description below and find the links to the affiliate products from Amazon related to this show. Today, we are diving deep into a timeless sci-fi masterpiece that serves as the ultimate warning for our modern anxieties. Because of a solution to all of humanity's deepest horrors, our big idea today is simple. Human desperation makes us dangerously blind to obvious red flags. When we are drowning, we will grab on to any hand reaching down to us, even if that hand belongs to a monster, or in this case, an alien benefactor. In this episode, we're going to look at the terrifying exhaustion hidden between alien promises, the utter absurdity of human bureaucracy trying to control an advanced threat, and finally, how a world fleeing a dystopian nightmare can willingly line up to board a spaceship straight into a slaughterhouse. Let's look at the classic television benchmark for this kind of storytelling, the Twilight Zone, a series famous for always ending with a devastating twist. In this classic episode, we start off with the Kanamits. They stand 9 feet tall, looking like an exhausted Christopher Columbus arriving on a new shore, tired of putting on a cheap show just to appease us. They promise the world with a flat, mechanical voice. They offer us incredible technology like Element 115, a legendary heavy element often tied to advanced anti-gravity propulsion powers. They hand over revolutionary force fields and new ways to instantly grow food to end global hunger. They promise to turn Earth back into a literal Garden of Eden. But if you look past the promises and focus on their body language, there is an intrinsic horror in that alien's exhaustion. Speaking hope to a desperate crowd is easy, but hiding an alternative motive is draining. They aren't acting out of benevolence, they're acting out of preparation. They don't want to end world hunger and violent wars to save humanity. They want to sustain humanity for another reason. What is that reason? We will find out. Keep watching. And how does humanity handle this world-changing event? With the peak absurdity of human governance, we give the alien a lie detector test. Think about how ridiculous this is. It is the comic equivalent of Meet the Parents, where a suspicious, hyper-controlling father-in-law like Jack Burns puts a regular guy through an intense polygraph test. Except here, the stakes are the survival of the human race. We are using primitive, flawed human technology to integrate a hyper-advanced, interdimensional species. Predictably, the machine says he's telling the truth. The translated message says peace, but the alien's sheer fatigue tells the exact opposite story. We choose to zoom in on a false hope, completely ignoring the lack of true hope right in front of our eyes. This is where the story shifts beautifully, back into the dystopian novel format that the episode started. The world goes from a state of chaotic panic to absolute compliance. Everyone is waiting to get on a list to visit the alien's homeworld, standing in line for the next ride to another promised paradise. Space seems to offer a timeless escape from our earthly problems. But once inside the spacecraft, the atmosphere shifts. Traveling with the Kanamits feels less like an upgrade and more like George Orwell's 1984. The cold, automated voice dictating the passengers' daily routines and broadcasting endless instructions mirrors with the oppressive telescreen that monitored Winston Smith. But as the classic literary twist reveals, we didn't read the fine print about why those voices are giving us commands. The aliens left a book behind on a table back on Earth titled To Serve Man. Government officials have been frantically trying to figure out what it actually says. The truth is discovered too late. While passengers are actively boarding the spaceship, a cryptographer figures out the translation and frantically shouts to her colleague on the ramp, "To serve man! It's a cookbook!" But it's too late. He's forced onto the ship by the aliens, and the door seals shut. By running away from our own self-made dystopia, we willingly walked right into the pantry for someone else to devour us. We became so eager to follow a dream too good to be true that we ended up as the main ingredient for someone else's soup in another dimension. The next time someone promises you an effortless fix to a massive problem, remember the Kanamits. Be careful what you believe, what you follow, and whose spaceship you board. If you want to keep unpacking the brilliant, terrifying ways that literature and cinema predict our reality, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like sign, and drop a comment below. Would you have gotten on that ship without knowing what the book titled To Serve Man was really going to do to humanity? From Page to Premiere, I'm Professor Danny Hopp. Keep reading, keep watching, and always read the fine print in my description to order related products and help support my channel. See you next time.